All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to Physical Geology 1403. Today's a little different. I'm sitting down. And I'm going to stay sitting down the whole time. Yeah, today is all about answering your questions, making sure you're ready for the exam.
First question.
Hold on. Hold that question. Is it about the exam?
Yeah.
Okay, hold that question. As per usual, I want to open the floor to any general questions or any cool stories that you may have heard about, science stories or anything like that.
Wait, do we ask her?
Huh?
Do we start asking her?
Like exam questions?
No. Just general question.
General questions? Yeah, shoot.
All right. How do you feel about the situation with Charlie Kirk?
How do I feel about the situation with Charlie Kirk? It's anytime anyone is killed in a violent way, it's a shame. When it's done on purpose, it's a crime.
Would that be considered an assassination?
It absolutely was an assassination. Yeah. Whenever anyone uses something as petty as politics to motivate violence of any kind, doesn't even have to be as bad as killing someone. If you just walk up and slap someone's face, or step on their toe, or knock their book off of their shelf, it's the most petty, ridiculous thing. Those are people that have no self-control. They have no perspective. They have no true understanding of what the point is of anything, really. Life, society. They think they're standing for something, and all they're doing is breeding chaos. So I condemn those people that conspired to kill Charlie Kirk and anyone else who conspires to kill anyone.
Sir. Did you hear about everything else that happened too? Like the school shootings and the lady that got attacked and the dude who got his head chopped off with a machete?
I'm afraid I did not hear about any of that, no.
No, what? This dude got attacked and some other guy chopped his head with a machete.
In the same area?
No, not in the same area, but like.
So these were other accidents or other incidents that happened on the same day yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday there was a school shooting in Colorado, like New York or something. Some lady got attacked in a train. Oh, yeah, something like that. She got killed and nobody helped her. And then some dude got his head chopped off. I don't know where that was.
They found that headless person in Dallas near a hotel.
Oh yeah, I think that's what it was. Dallas.
Again, all I can say is I condemn anyone who acts like that. Yeah. Yeah.
That dude did get, he got brutally killed.
Oh yeah, lots of people were recording. I haven't watched the video, I'm not going to, but I think everyone else that I'm close with was watching.
It was pretty brutal. I couldn't even see it.
Yeah,
Like I had seen the up-close video.
yeah. Last night, I was here until about 10 o'clock because every Monday and Wednesday we have rehearsal for the play that I'm in at the Globe Theater across the street.
You're in a play?
Yeah, I'm an actor on the side. What's the play?
Yeah.
It's called The Front Page. It's about 1920s reporters in Chicago. Yeah, you guys should come watch it. It'll be at the Globe. Mid-November is when we're showing it. But yeah, one of my friends over there, he was watching it live when it happened, and he said that he couldn't get it out of his head. It was so bad. Yeah. The rock that they found on Mars. I mean, there are lots of rocks on Mars. Yeah, so this will come up every now and then. Where, I mean, if you're talking about a more recent story, in the last 24 hours, man, I haven't looked into that myself. I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't gotten any, breaking news alerts about that. But, yeah, every now and then we will find structures on Mars that easily could have been formed by life. But until we find actual fossil evidence, it's all conjecture. Uh-huh. So strong evidence is good. but it's not proof, right? So I'll look into that here in a minute. But yeah. What, at the event? He was literally invited to that event to be a speaker. So if they killed him because he was talking too much, then those people have very short attention spans on top of everything else. But no. It was clearly planned. The shooter was 200 feet away, 200 meters away. That's a lot. You have to be a very skilled shot to make that shot that accurately at that distance. This was clearly planned. Charlie Kirk is a pro-Trump supporter. He was there. It was a political movement. He was invited there by a legitimate student organization. And this was clearly planned as an opportunity to take a shot at Trump supporters. However I feel about Trump, which is very mixed, may I say. I'll just put that out there. I won't say specifically how, but I have very mixed feelings about Donald Trump and his campaign. But it's unacceptable for this kind of thing to happen to anyone of any political party. All right, and that's probably where we should leave that story. Otherwise, we'll just circle the drain here on that. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. They knew what they were doing. Okay. Anything else?
Didn't they find like life on Mars this week or something?
All right. Well, since you're the second person to bring that up, let me just really quickly check on this Mars rock story.
It was probably like a bug or something.
It was recent. Very recent.
It was probably like an ant or something, but
I didn't go in detail. It just said life on Mars.
send me on a rocket ship. I'm gonna put it on.
All right. Let's see. This is the official NASA story here.
Wait, NASA posted it?
Oh, that's how you know it is life on Mars.
No, that's how you know it's coming from a legitimate source, right? Always check your sources. When it comes to stuff about stories on Mars, NASA above pretty much anything else. All right. The article is loading. School Wi-Fi is taking its sweet time right now. So while we wait for that, should I give you all some information about the exam? Would you mind hitting the door for me?
I got paid. There you go. I got paid.
Oh, you got paid today?
Dumb broken chair. All right. So let's talk about the exam. This is exam 1. It covers lectures 1 through 7, aka everything we've talked about so far. Okay. If I seem a little out of it or subdued today, it's also because I don't know if you can tell I'm fighting a mild cold at the moment. So, what else? 40 questions. 40 questions to cover 7 lectures. It's not actually all that unreasonable. Okay. You will have the maximum time limit that Blackboard lets me give you for this, which is 500 minutes. So from the moment that you push start, you have 500 minutes. It doesn't even matter if you minimize the page, if you leave Blackboard, if you close it and try to come back later. That timer keeps going, whether you're at the computer or not. So make sure that you are somewhere that you can fully put your time into that exam and complete it before that timer runs out. Okay? You have to get it all done in one shot. That means not waiting until 11 o'clock tonight and then falling asleep at 12:30 and waking up at 6 o'clock and realizing it auto-submitted. I won't reopen it for you. Okay? That's something you should have planned for. So, that's 500 minutes from the moment you start it, but your window to start it begins after the lecture or after the exam review today. So whenever we're done here, whenever the questions dry up, and ends Sunday at midnight. Okay, I'll extend the deadline if I haven't already. That means that you have to have it turned in by Sunday at midnight. You can't start it on Sunday at 11:59. Okay? Does that make sense so far?
Or like close it out if you do that.
Yeah, it'll auto submit when that timer runs out. When the timer runs out, or when my window to start it runs out. If you start it at 11:59, it'll give you 1 minute. Okay? Yeah.
Are the questions multiple choice answers or all?
Yeah, they are what I call the usual suspects. Okay? Short answer, multiple choice, true, false, ordering, matching, so on and so forth. Okay? Nothing. There's no essay questions. So the next natural question to that, the next follow-up is, how long do my short answers need to be, right? And the answer to that is however long it takes for you to explain the concept. For some of you that really grasp it and really get the technical terminology and you remember the right words to explain these things, it might be 1 sentence or 2. For those of you that get the concept, but you don't really remember all the right words to explain it, it might be a paragraph. And that's totally fine, right? You won't have points deducted for explaining it in the words that you know best. Of course, it's always better if you remember the terminology I taught you, but as long as you're getting the point across is what matters, okay? What else? Let's focus on questions about the format versus the content right now. You can use your notes, cannot use the textbook, cannot use Google or AI. I do have tools to help me figure out if you did any of those things, so don't risk it, okay? Yeah.
How much is the exam worth?
This exam, because we are halfway through the class now, is worth 200 points. 200. This exam is worth 200. Exam 2 is worth 100. The lab exam is worth 100. And the final is worth 100. This covers half of the content of the class, and it's my first evaluation of you. And I really want to push home how important it is to get your exam taking and note taking skills up to speed. And so this is honestly the heaviest exam. That's not to say if you fail this one, you fail the class. Remember, I have the points split evenly between exams and non-exam assignments. So even if you bomb this one, you do have the ability to pass the class still, right? That's not to say don't stress this exam. Please prioritize this exam, all right? What else? Yeah.
Would the exam be auto-graded or are you going to grade it?
I mean, the multiple choice and stuff like that, that's auto-graded by Blackboard, but I grade everything that's short answer.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, the story loaded. All right, this is from the 10th. A sample collected by NASA's Perseverance Mars rover from an ancient dry riverbed in Jezero crater could preserve evidence of ancient microbial life. Taken from a rock named Cheava Falls last year, the sample called Sapphire Canyon contains potential biosignatures. Is there anything else? All it says is biosignatures. They're not actually telling us what it is. The combination of chemical compounds we found in the Bright Angel Formation could have been a rich source of energy for microbial metabolisms. Just because we saw all of these compelling chemical signatures in the data didn't mean we had a potential biosignature. We needed to analyze what that data could mean. In high-resolution images, the instruments found a distinct pattern of minerals arranged into reaction fronts, points of contact where chemical and physical reactions occur. The term is called leopard spots. The spots carried a signature of two iron-rich minerals, vivianite and greigite. Vivianite is frequently found on Earth in sediments, peat bogs, and around decaying organic matter. You guys have actually touched it here in the class. Similarly, certain forms of microbial life on Earth can produce greigite. Yeah. Okay, so it's a combination of these two minerals, which on Earth sometimes the result of bacterial life. The discovery was particularly surprising because it involves some of the youngest sedimentary rocks the mission has investigated. All right. All right, cool. Well, that's one of the 27 samples that they're going to be bringing back to Earth here in the 2030s. So when we bring it back here, we'll be able to use more complex instrumentation to figure out if it's true. The Perseverance rover, they had to set, I mean, it's got fantastic instrumentation on it. Microscopes and all of that, high resolution cameras that can send back pictures to us. But because you have to take every ounce of weight on a spaceship very seriously, they couldn't put the best equipment on it, right? So those samples are going to come back here, and then we'll be able to put it under a more powerful microscope and see if there really is more evidence of life there.
Wait, how long until they get to?
I think that the mission to bring them back is supposed to come back in 2035, so about 10 years from now. I know that they're going to be launching the mission to recover the samples here pretty soon. I want to say that they said 28 or 29. It'll take a while to get to Mars. Then it has to get to the surface, collect the samples from the rover, launch again, and come back up here. So it's going to take a while. We'll find out. I actually contacted the person that's in charge of the team that will be studying those samples and asked if there was any way that I could be on the team. And they said, well, you kind of had to know that this was going to happen 15 years ago. Everyone that's going to be on the team that studies those rocks was chosen 15 years ago, which is going to be 25 years before anyone will even get their hands on the rocks. So yeah, you just had to know that long ago. It was kind of crazy. Yeah, very interesting. Still just potential evidence, nothing concrete, but a step in the right direction, I will say, for Mars having had life on it before. Now, let me remind you that if Mars did have life on it, it's not going to be life like what Earth had, okay? Mars and Earth were born approximately at the same time. Mars started to cool off faster and didn't have another planet impact it and remelt it, which is why it kind of continued on that cooling process. But it also cooled off and its atmosphere blew away about 2 billion years ago. So the furthest that it could have gone, if we assume that the same progression of life happened there that happened here, is bacteria. 2 billion years ago, there was only bacteria on Earth. 2 billion years ago, if the same thing happened to Mars, it would only be bacteria. So it's not like we're going to find, aliens in the sense of intelligent life. There wasn't enough time for that to form, assuming that the same conditions existed. Right? But if there's bacteria on Mars, there's bacteria everywhere else in the universe too. It's a step in that direction. All right. Fantastic. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, both of you. Okay. Other exam-related questions? I can start answering content questions as well. Questions about lecture subjects. Something that you see in your notes you're not very strong on. I highly recommend you start going through your notes right now. That's a great metric to use. If you're going through and you see, all right, I took like 5 pages of notes on lecture 1 and 4 pages of notes on lecture 2, and I've got 3 sentences for lecture 3, that might be a good example of what we would need to talk about to help you flesh out your notes, help prepare you better for this exam. While you all are doing that, I'm going to check my email and see if any of the online students took me up on the offer to send me questions that I made in the video that I submitted 2 days ago. It doesn't appear that I got any questions from online students. Yeah, Gavin. I mean, yeah, sure. Right now? I mean, honestly, okay, so today it's a Q&A session for you. Use it the best that you can, right? When the questions dry up, I'll just end the video, and you guys can work on lab, or you can start the exam, or whatever. So if you want to work on a lab right now, that's entirely up to you. But just know that this is your opportunity to ask questions about the exam and help get you ready for doing well on what will be a hefty chunk of points for the class.
Should we do this week? It's due it's on the 14th. It's on like 3 days.
What do we think? Yeah.
Some of the rocks will be in the lesson.
Some of the rocks what?
We have to answer questions about the textures and rocks.
Oh, good question. No, you will not have to identify any minerals or rocks on this exam. You do have a lab exam coming up in a few weeks that will cover all of that, though. So that is coming, but no, not on this one. Great question.
So what do we mainly focus on for this exam?
What do you mainly need to focus on for this exam? All right, I would say that for this exam, you need to mainly focus on lectures 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's my smart aleck answer. I'm not going to tell you specifically. Anything that's in any of those lectures is fair game. If you like, as you're picking through, here's another good question, okay? As you're going through those notes and you're reading through them to see if it's something that you can rely on, you need to be able to rely on your own notes, right? So if you're going through it and you see, okay, there's this thing, this concept, this process, what does that say? Bowen's reaction series? What was that again? I wrote it down, but I don't have an explanation. Ask, right? Make sure that your notes are something that you later this week or this weekend, if you choose to take it on the weekend, it's something that you won't regret not asking about today.
Wait.
Go both of them.
So it's technically from where we started our notes to the end of it.
To the most recent one, yes. Lectures 1 through 7.
So at the end of the term or whatever, we turn in all of the notes that we've taken and we get extra credit, right? We get grades for them.
If by the time I close the class, which is going to be on that last day, I go in and while I'm doing final grading, I see that you have submitted all your notes and I go through them and I see that they all meet my standards, which is they are your work, not mine. You can't use my PowerPoints as your notes. Then, yeah, you get extra credit on your lowest exam. It's the only extra credit I really offer.
How much did you credit?
50 points total if you turn in all notes.
What's the grade?
Huh?
No credit.
Sorry, say that again.
Don't we turn in like the lecture?
They're not graded? No, they won't get graded because they're extra credit. Yeah, so turn in all your notes, you get 50 points. You can get up to 50 points of extra credit for turning in notes.
That's how I did.
Like, if we write all the notes that you that can't be extra credits.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Like, if you take notes from your PowerPoint, but not everything copied exactly, you still give us extra credit.
You can copy everything exactly or not. I'm not going to nitpick your methods for taking notes. My only requirement is that it's your work, not mine. That means if you download my PowerPoints and then submit that as your notes, even if you write your own notes on top of it, if my PowerPoint is on there, it's disqualified because that's my work, not yours. I care that you are taking information into your head, passing it through your head, into your hand, and onto that page. Right? It takes work, it takes effort, but that's part of learning.
So what we get from the PowerPoint, we can write it down.
Yeah, sure, you can copy stuff from the PowerPoint if you'd like. If that's your note-taking method, just remember to take notes in lecture too. The PowerPoint is 5% of the information you get in this class. The other 95% comes from me, right? I only use the PowerPoint as to direct the traffic of the lecture, so to speak. The direction it goes and the progression and the speed and the rate at which I share the information. But all the information that you get is up here, and then I give it to you through the lectures. So take notes on that, not just PowerPoints.
We go back for back.
Huh? Remembering is good, but right now at this stage in your education, notes are better. Yes, because I don't expect you to remember everything that I say, but if you write it down, you can still pull it up as needed. Which is why I let you use notes in exams, by the way. It's the same philosophy as a calculator, right, guys? Have you guys ever taken a math exam? Did they let you use a calculator? Sometimes. I do not understand why in any world a math teacher would not think you have a calculator at your fingertips. You'll always have access to a calculator. So if they're really preparing you for real-world scenarios, a calculator is something that will always be available to you. I am preparing you for real-world scenarios, and in our current world, there is no scenario when you can't pull up at least a notebook or a file that you've taken notes on. I mean, most of the time, you guys just Google stuff, right? Heck, I Google stuff a lot of the time, right? So yeah, it's not realistic for me to expect you to remember everything that I say in a geology class when most of you aren't going to be geologists. So I encourage notes, and I let you use those notes, because that's more real world than remembering everything I say. Yeah? Mm-hmm. That's so true. Yeah, always check sources, like what I was saying earlier. The movie night, yeah. Yeah.
So we're gonna stay here at night.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, yeah, so there are some questions about the movie night. It's going to be on October 3rd, which is a Friday at 6 p.m. right here. It'll either be in this room or the room next door. It depends. Huh? However many people want to. I'm not going to cap it. I've had up to 18 people and as few as one other person besides me. Yeah. It's more fun when more people come because, you know, they're ridiculous movies that we can laugh at and be like, hey, you remember when we learned about the science that says that that's ridiculous? You know?
I thought it was going to be like 30 people in here.
That depends on if 30 people come. It's open. Like, if you want to come, great. You can bring snacks, meals, drinks, whatever, as long as it's all college appropriate, obviously. Not a problem for most of you. You're high school students. But, yeah, no, I opened it up to all of my class sessions. So any of the 5 sections I'm teaching right now can come. Yeah, so right now, there are 37 people have voted. And the winner, or the front runner, I should say, is San Andreas.
Wait, isn't it like the fault in the ground and that's what tsunami?
Mm-hmm. Spoilers.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so right now there are 16 votes for San Andreas. Yeah. So if you haven't voted yet and you feel strongly one way or the other, please go on to that link that I sent in the announcement and vote. And then come and have a fun time and watch a movie and bring some food or something.
So what time is it
How
gonna
about
end?
traffic?
Like 8?
If we start the movie promptly at 6, then it should end around 8.
It's just waiting for registration.
Yep.
Look, I ran a red light today. Today. This morning. Because I was running late.
You're grounded.
I was like, oh,
What'd you do?
I didn't.
I think it's just fake.
You didn't do anything?
It's my grading column. I'm waiting for him to put stuff in. It's because I turned in the wrong essay. I turned in the draft instead of my final essay. So I'm failing it now.
Let's see.
Oh, they're having a deportation takeover. Bring your own nation. 11 a.m. to my show. Don't transfer. Will be provided. Location. Let's get Cindy.
All right, what questions are we having?
Has any of the online students had any questions?
No, none of the online students sent me emails with questions. None of them. They might struggle. Honestly, and as my online students are watching this later, I'll just put this out there. Try and make a habit of watching lectures in the classes you take online as soon as you can after they're posted. Because you never know if there's a time-sensitive component like this.
Wait, what's your YouTube channel?
Heart Rock Geology.
Oh, you're recording right now too?
Yeah, I'm recording right now. Yeah, all of this is being, I record every time that we meet for the benefit of my online students. So whatever questions you ask about the exam will benefit them as well. So please share.
Yo, I'm subscribed.
Heart Rock Geology. That's H-A-R-D-T, just like my last name. Rock, and then Geology. Yeah, go ahead and subscribe if you want. It's cool, but I'd appreciate it.
You'll find it.
Every time that if you subscribe, every time that I put a post, like upload a new video or lecture, you'll get that alert, and then you can go on and rewatch it if you like. That's where I post my caving videos. Whenever I go to a new cave, I record the experience and I put it up there. Sometimes I do educational seminars and I put them on there. Huh? Out of the lectures? No.
Hey, shut up. We're listening to the lecture.
Why? I mean, yeah, yes. Your face has been on there. Everyone's face has been on there as I'm walking around the room. Heart Rock Geology.
Man, the camera actually does follow.
Yeah, H-A-R-D-T, Rock Geology.
Oh, look, Remy.
So yeah, that's another good thing to do for review. All right, we are back live. Camera, stop looking over there. I'm over here. There we go. It was looking at you again, but it's okay. It wasn't recording. Yeah, so my computer ran out of memory, and I had to download or delete some old stuff to restart it. Okay, so we didn't really have any content-related questions while the camera was offline. We were not the whole time. No, just for the last 5 minutes or so. Yeah, I had to delete some stuff to bring it back. Any questions? Any content questions? Everything in lectures 1 through 7, you guys feel pretty confident in? We talked about matter and minerals. We talked about the rock cycle. How do they form underwater? Yeah, so you get a volcano underwater, and then as the magma comes up, the lava gets pushed out onto the surface, spreads out until it solidifies. Gradually, you get layer upon layer upon layer upon layer of built-up lava rock that keeps getting higher and higher and higher from the surface of the ocean floor until it breaches the top of the water.
That's how it makes the land.
Yeah, that's how you get islands like Hawaii.
But you don't want to take it to the weights on weekends.
Yes. Again, I'll reiterate, you can take this exam over the weekend. Okay? Just don't wait too long. Give yourself the full 500 minutes. Think about it. 40 questions, 500 minutes. That's 8 hours. That's more than 10 minutes a question. I think that's about 12 minutes a question. And some of them are going to be really easy, you know, like true, false. It takes 10 seconds to think about that one, right? So that gives you even more time on the longer format questions. So let me give you some advice here. I would recommend going through the exam without answering anything at first, seeing where the short answer questions are, and then maybe prioritizing your time on those. Here's why. You give yourself more time, but also when you are just starting the exam at the beginning, you're going to have lots more energy, more patience, less stuff is going to hopefully be distracting you depending on where you put yourself. So if you save the longer format questions for the end, you're more likely to set yourself up for not giving them the right amount of time. Okay? Better to save the true, false, and ordering and matching questions for the end. The ones that require the least amount of coherent thought. Does that make sense? Good.
So have you caught people cheating in the past?
I have. I usually get at least one a semester from one of my classes.
Sorry?
I usually get at least one a semester. Sometimes I get more.
Are they like in-person people cheating or like online?
Sometimes. It can be both.
How do you catch them cheating?
Well, I'm not going to tell you my tools and methods, but I do catch them.
What type of tools do you use?
I'm not going to tell you that, brother.
He has a question.
Sir, you can't specifically tell us that, huh?
I wouldn't even if I could.
What would happen?
If I told you what my tools were,
I was like, we would never cheat.
huh? I would not get fired. No. Not every teacher uses the same methods for catching cheaters. Okay? But if I did tell you what tools or methods I used, then you might find a way to circumvent them. This way, all I have to say is I have tools and methods, and I promise that they work because I catch cheaters every semester. Please don't be that person. Last semester, I caught someone. They got their warning. They failed that exam. If I catch you cheating, it doesn't matter how well you did, because I don't know if you cheated on anything else, right? So you fail that whole exam. There is a way to come back, though, by acing everything else, right? But if there's a second occurrence, I kick you out of my class and I report you to the college. And if you're a high school student, to the high school as well. Yeah. I am. You cheat in science and people might die. You cheat in medicine, people might die. You cheat in law enforcement, people might die. I take cheating very seriously at an institution of learning where we teach all three of those groups. You don't have a question that you wanted to ask? Were you going to ask? Are you trying to make him ask what tools I use?
He said, how can I cheat without being caught?
Ah, that's the question. I guess my question to you is how confident do you feel like gambling?
Ooh, no.
You feeling lucky, punk?
Ooh, he caught you a little girl.
Mr. Hart,
It's pretty far reach from punk. Yeah.
what are cheating methods students have used?
People have attempted to use AI before.
In what way, though?
Like in the short response.
Yeah, short answer. You just copy and paste a short answer and you put it in an AI. It is actually really easy to tell if an answer comes from an AI. Yeah.
Oh, so it's really mostly just like the short answer questions that they cheat on?
Not necessarily. Listen, I'd rather that you became so confident in your own notes and your own abilities that cheating isn't something that you even want to consider. That's what I'm trying to help you get to. I'm putting as much time and effort into this to help you get that confidence as I can to dissuade you from cheating, because I really don't want to kick you out of my class. Okay? I want you to stay in my class because we have so many more cool things to talk about. So let's not think about cheating. Let's think about improving. All right? Because I'm here to help you do that.
Sir, whether we fail or not, like, you rather see us if we try the best we can.
Oh yeah, yeah. Failing is some of the best learning experience you will ever have in life. It's not fun, but I've learned far more through my failures than I have through my successes. My failures often outweigh the number of successes that I have.
And so what do you think, sir, if somebody failed so much in class, and they just couldn't pass, like, what would you do, sir?
What would I do if someone didn't pass?
Yes, sir.
I give them the grade that they deserve and encourage them to put more time and effort into it the next time. I will say this though, guys. My fail rate for my classes has never exceeded 5 or 6%. I know my class is hard. It's supposed to be. It's science, right? It's just as hard as it would be at any other institution in the world. But never more than 5 or 6% of all of my students ever fail it. That's 95 to 94% of my students that succeed. Okay? My class is so achievable. All it takes is the effort from you. Okay? Yeah. Thank you. Can you repeat that again, louder? Okay, what's the difference between the percentage of mineral content, humus, air, and water in soil? Okay, so those are the 4 ingredients for our soils, right? A soil has to have all 4 of those things. You miss one of those things, you don't have soil. Okay, even if it's a very small amount. We don't have much water in our soil here, right? But we still have soil and stuff still grows. The proportion of each of those 4 ingredients will determine what can grow in that soil. Jackson, do you remember rainforest soil?
Yes, it's
What does it have a lot of? It has a lot of what?
nutrients or minerals.
It doesn't have a lot of mineral content, it has a lot of another thing.
Oh, it has, yeah, a bunch of water.
It has a lot of water and humus, good. Rainforest soil has a lot of organic content, aka humus, and water. Relatively low with the air, relatively low with the mineral content. What about here? We have a lot of air and what? Mineral content. Relatively low organic content and water content. Would you say that the plants that live here are different from the plants that live in the rainforest? Yeah, substantially different. The soil is determined by the environment, and the types of plant life that can survive there are determined by the soil. Okay? In the end, so many things come down to environmental factors. Weathering, erosion, soil proportions, all of that comes down to environment. What else? Great question. Thank you for that. Yes, you may. What else?
What's the question?
I like that the mornings are getting chillier. It's been too hot.
It doesn't have to be.
I will put this out there as well for my in-person and online students. please let me know if you are having trouble in the class. Please let me know. I can help you, or we have a late night tutor that is available as well if you can't talk to me during business hours. Okay? I just found out earlier this week that 5 students in one of my online classes just dropped the class because it was too hard and they decided they didn't want to do it. But I never got once a single email from them asking for help. That's not the right way to do college, my friends. Ask for help and try and succeed before you quit. Okay? But I can't help you unless I know that you're struggling. So please talk to me. All right?
I need to speak to my blog.
Right now? 74 now.
And none of this in email?
None of those 5 did.
Oh, I thought you said none of this.
No. None of the ones that dropped the class did. They decided, oh, too hard. Won't even try. Won't even ask for help. Drop. It's not the right attitude to take into college. Yeah, I usually teach at least 3 online sections for every 1 in-person section I have.
Online students start watching the videos now. There's only 50 views on them.
On which one?
I like all they're doing.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know. And that's, unfortunately, I find, and I say this as an observer, right? This isn't meant to be a critique, although I have my own opinions on it. I find that there are 2 types of online students. The go-getters, which want me to post everything right off the bat so they can do everything in the first week and then spend the next 7 weeks breezing through life. And then the procrastinators, who are the opposite. They don't care when anything is posted. They just convince themselves that they can spend the last week of the semester blitzing through all of it and that they'll still succeed. Both groups have vast potential to fail. Your go-getters that get everything done right off the bat and just want to spend the next 7 weeks on vacation often will not check back in and see what they got on their work. I'll often see those groups of people, they'll turn everything in. I'll grade it like week 2 or week 3, and then I can see when each of you logs in, by the way. I can see when you log in, when you log out on the Blackboard. And for 4 weeks, I won't see that person log in. I'll even email them and say, hey, your work is graded, come fix it. You're going to fail the class if you don't because you didn't know what you were talking about when you did the assignments because you hadn't watched all the lectures because you went through it too fast, right? And they won't do anything. And then on the last day of class, they'll log back in, see that they're going to fail and be like, hey, what can I do? And I'll be like, at this point, nothing, man. The ball was in your court for 6 weeks, right? And then you've got your procrastinators who put off everything until the last second and blitz it all and don't have enough time to fix anything. Both groups have vast potential to fail. So that's why I try and stagger when I release content online for my classes. I release 1 lecture every time you and I meet here in person. Okay, I record this and then I upload it for the class. I don't have lectures from last year that I give them in this format. Okay? That way my go-getters, my right off the bat try and front load everything, they are forced to go at a certain schedule, a release date schedule. And my procrastinators still have the ability to procrastinate if they wait until I release everything. I can't really control how they do that. But they get plenty of warnings from me not to do it. Right? That's kind of the approach that I have for online learning.
Do you think those people that haven't like practiced?
Yeah, I always have a large number of procrastinators. And the last day of class, I always get bombarded by emails from people. And this includes, I will often get them from people in my in-person class saying, hey, how can I improve my grade? And all I can say is, could have improved it over the last 8 weeks. They say, hey, please give us some more extra credit. I don't offer extra credit other than the notes and, class movie nights and stuff. because you shouldn't need extra credit if you put the work into getting the full credit in the first place. Which, considering that I let you do every assignment other than exams as many times as you want, was free. It was like free. Man, we've talked about cheating. We've talked about failing. I don't want to talk about cheating and failing today. Come on, let's change the subject. I want to talk about success. I want to talk about coming out the other side of this exam feeling awesome. Bless you. Yeah.
We can't redo the exam.
Exams cannot be retaken unless there is an obvious reason. Yeah.
You can redo assignments, right?
You can redo every other assignment in this class other than exams.
Okay, and for the assignments, once we redo them, do we email you?
You can, but once you submit the second thing, the second submission, I'll have a little pop-up that says additional item needs to be graded. So the next time I do my grading pass-through, I'll just take care of that.
Okay.
Yeah. We doing good over here? Yeah? Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I don't have my phone. Oh my god.
All right, how are we doing for questions? It is 10:30. We've been going for an hour now. We've had a couple of content-related questions, but I don't want to put a nothing video up if I can help it. So if there are no other content-related questions, I'm going to end the recording so I don't have another hour of chatter. Nonsense, yeah. I don't want my online students to feel like this was a waste of time video. So if there are any other content questions, I will gladly answer those. You're so confident? You're ready? You hope so? I hope so too. I think you are. I think you got this. I think all of you got this. Okay? Yeah.
One day before 9.
Volcanic structures, yeah? Mm-hmm. What about them? What's the difference between a parasitic cone and a fumarole? Okay, a parasitic cone is like a second vent that has poked its way through the side of the volcano. So instead of the lava going up the straight up tube to the top of the volcano, some of it's chewed its way through the side of the volcano and is coming out the side. That's a parasitic cone. Okay? Oh, the Mount St. Helens? No, that's not what happened. What happened was the volcano exploded out the side because there was less pressure on the side than there was on the top. So the path of least resistance for all that lava to escape and that explosion was out the side versus the top. That's why it exploded out that way. A fumarole is when the groundwater around your volcano starts to heat up and turn into steam. And so you get steam vents around the perimeter of your volcano. And those are called fumaroles. Yep. How do you identify cleavage? Okay. Cleavage planes are going to be flat, reflective, broken surfaces. So if you're looking at a mineral and it's got flat surfaces, you might initially think, oh, well, those are crystal form surfaces. But then when you're looking at it reflecting in the light, you're like, oh, no, this kind of looks like it's been broken, right? It's not perfectly smooth. That's a cleavage plane, okay? If it's broken a lot, you're only going to see cleavage planes because crystal form sides will only be present in the unbroken version of that mineral.
You said like go to dialysis.
Diagenesis, what about it? Diagenesis is any change that occurs to a sediment after deposition but before metamorphism. So, biological remains become fossils. Sediment gets turned into sedimentary rock. Cementation occurs of sediment, things like that. Okay? Anything that happens after your sediment stops moving but before metamorphism occurs.
Like the word he said, like, how like it's like there's like deposition. It also like goes down the river, like carries the flow of sediment.
Erosion?
I forgot. It started with D. I don't know.
It started with a D. Another word that talked about sediment being carried downriver.
Or like the flow of it and it ends up somewhere else.
The flow of it has ended up somewhere else. I'm not thinking about a word like that. I can't. Anyone have any ideas? I'm not remembering anything like that. Do you have one in your notes? Or is this just something in your head? Okay. Yeah. Well, so your process is weathering to create the sediment, erosion to transport the sediment, deposition of that sediment, and then diagenesis. Okay? How does a metamorphic rock go back to magma? Okay? Metamorphism happens when you heat and pressurize a rock up to a point where the molecules are willing to shift. Melting happens when you add too much heat to the point where they completely disassociate from each other and they have too much energy to form a solid bond. So how do you do that? You just add more heat. Yep. This side of the room is conspicuously quiet. I feel like you might be conspiring. Your only questions are about the lab? That's fine. I've answered a few lab questions. Hold on.
Other than the one about the exit sample, I was wondering, so if this isn't like, I was thinking, is that a clay stone, the dollar stone? But also dollar stone isn't an option.
For which lab? You on lab 3?
I think dollar stone is in like the lab 3 samples, but it's not. And that answers. And
Okay.
like I powdered it and it lightly fits. But like I said, it also lightly fits. I was just thinking of light fizzing.
If it fizzed on the rock itself, that's a giveaway for what mineral it's made out of, right?
I think most of the rocks. I was kind of checking out for a bit, boosting my Oreos, and pretty much lost it. I think it's gonna pop up.
That too.
You're looking at sample 2?
Yes.
Okay. Have you determined if it's clastic or non-clastic? That should be your first thing before you even test whether it's fizzy.
Pretty sure it's not plastic.
Why?
It doesn't look, there's no like big rocks and also it doesn't look grainy. It looks like a bunch of,
But we do know that there are microscopic clay and silt-sized clastic particles that exist, and rocks can be made out of those, right?
Oh, watch out, it's Juliet, bro.
While he's thinking about that, Ryan, you had a question about the what? Reams of paper? Yeah, what about them? Oh, I was just using reams of paper as an example when we were talking about the age of the Earth, right? A ream of paper is a stack of 500 sheets of paper.
Oh, so you're like putting
I was stacking those on top of each other hypothetically to tell you.
did that thing with the
How do you go back?
With the what?
you did that thing with the whenever you grab
I don't even
the
think I
phone
took a
thing,
picture. I think I pressed the OK.
No, the foam things. That was for our metamorphic. Yeah, I was talking about reams of paper in lecture 1. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, so I had that one sheet of paper with 4,000 dots on it.
Oh, good one.
Gentlemen, let's go back to our spots and concentrate for a little bit. Okay? So those sheets of paper that had 4,000 dots on them, okay? And I put 500 of them into a ream and then stacked up a whole bunch of reams to show how old the Earth was. That's what we were talking about. You guys remember how tall the tower of paper that I needed was to reach the age of the Earth?
Trillion, no, it was like trillion something.
It was, well, 4.6 billion years, but how tall was the paper? I needed an 83-foot tower of paper where each sheet had 4,000 dots on it, and each dot represented 1 year of Earth history. That's how old the Earth is, right? So that's what I was talking about with the reams of paper. Yeah.
Sorry,
Huh?
my thing was though, I was trying to just figure out like what it really was like meaning. I was like, wait, hold on, why are all these people? I was like 500 ream sheets, you know?
Yeah.
How you said it, but what does it all represent? All those 500 ream sheets.
The years of how old the Earth is.
Okay.
Yeah, so there are 4,000 dots on that page. Each dot represents 1 year. 500 sheets like this equals 1 ream. 2,250 reams equals how old the Earth is, where each dot is 1 year of Earth history.
Each dot is 1 year of history.
Each dot is 1 year of Earth history. Of Earth's history, yeah. 1 year. Yeah.
Is Diogenesis like where the
You know what, bro? It's
Diogenesis different?
No, I've never talked about diogenesis.
Oh,
Diagenesis is what.
You know how like coal, like it makes coal, like there's darker versions of it, like versions that are getting polished.
Uh-huh.
What are those called?
So your progression of coal is peat, lignite, bituminous coal, and then if you metamorphose bituminous coal, you get anthracite.
You say we can't use anthracite.
Oh, we use anthracite all the time. There's just not enough of it to use for widespread commercial purposes.
So what do you
Peat, lignite, bituminous coal, anthracite. Okay. What else? No, topographic maps will not be on this exam because you haven't learned about them yet. That's Lab 5. You'll get that in a few weeks. Other questions?
So it's kicking out. Because you cheat on all of it.
But he used to cheat all the time.
Juliet, you feel ready for this? You have good notes? Oh man, I love the confidence. Wonderful.
My notes are gonna go D1. Have like 13, right?
When submitting notes, since I've heard you talk about this, Google Doc is fine. You'll just need to export them as a PDF. You can't give me a link because if it's a secured format like a Google Doc and you give me a link, it's going to give me a pop-up saying you don't have access to this. So you have to download it as a PDF and then submit your notes if they're in an online cloud like that. Yeah.
So if whenever I'm taking a test, I can switch over each tab and it won't say I'm cheating, right?
It won't, but that's a fantastic point. Thank you. Let me talk about this. Please, when you're taking the test, another example of setting yourself up for success is making sure that your computer is doing as little as possible. Okay? Because every time, have you guys ever been like on Google Chrome or something and you've got like 20 tabs open and then all of a sudden like the page that you're on goes blank and then comes back? That's your computer resetting its connection to the internet because you have so many things going on that it's gotten bogged down and it has to restart everything to try and clear up memory space. Close everything except your exam and your notes if they're in a digital format. Do not make your computer have to reset that internet connection or it will submit your exam. Okay? If it senses a connection lost to Blackboard, it will auto-submit. All right? So please close everything except your notes and the exam. Okay? Don't have Netflix going on that device. Don't be playing a game at the same time. Those things chew up memory. Okay? It'll chew up your memory and you risk it being submitted. And again, like I said earlier, I can see when you log in. I can see when you open assignments. I have all of these tools. I can jump into the coding on Blackboard. I can see all of this stuff. So if you email me and you say, hey, I'm so sorry, I was working on it, and then, you know, this thing happened, and I can go in there and be like, you had it open for 5 minutes, and then it's submitted. Like, it's pretty easy for me to tell that your story isn't accurate, right? So set yourself up for success. Okay? Yeah, of course. Other questions? You ready for this? Yeah, you are. You guys ready for this? You guys ready for this?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay. Chris, you feeling ready? Well, ask me questions, girl. Let's get you ready. No? All right. Emily, you ready? Yeah? The notes are worth 50 points of extra credit if you turn in all of them and they all meet my satisfaction. Yeah. Yeah. What was what? It was closed? How weird. Yeah, sure. That's fine. Okay, so notes organization is normally one of the things that I don't really talk about because that's me telling you how to write your notes, and that's up to you. But if you've never tried finding an ideal note-taking method, then I can tell you how I do mine. Okay? So the way that I have found I'm most comfortable taking notes is whenever there's a new subject, like say when we're talking about volcanoes. Okay? In that lecture about volcanoes, I told you just the general intro to volcanoes, right? So I would write intro and then bullet fact, bullet fact, bullet fact, bullet fact. And then we started talking about the different types of volcanoes, right? So then I would make a new header for types and then bullet fact, bullet fact, bullet fact, bullet fact. And then we started talking about like magma, right? So bullet fact, bullet fact, bullet fact. That's how I take notes. So that way, as I'm going through my notes, I could be like, okay, so I know that this particular subject had something to do with magma, but I don't remember what. So then I can just kind of scan and find the header that says magma, and then everything that I learned about magma that day is there under a bullet, okay, in one of the bullets. So that's the way that I have grown comfortable with it. That's not the way I'm telling you to, but it's just an example. You'll have to find whichever way feels most comfortable to you. Great, yeah. A lot of people that I know have great success with highlighting notes. I had a friend in college that had 12 different colors of highlighters and every single one was color coded. And I tried that, but I couldn't remember which color went to which category, and it didn't last long.
That's why you put a little box, and you put the color, and then you put the category next to it.
You can make like a key like that, but I found myself needing to go back to the key every time, and by the time I had figured out what I needed to do, the teacher had moved on to a new subject. So it works for some people and doesn't for others. Yeah, no worries. Any other questions? Huh? I couldn't tell if you were talking to me or not. Okay.
Juliet. Sir, I have a question. Have you ever done any other sports?
Have I ever what?
Done any sports?
Yes, I play rugby and pickleball right now.
What is pickleball?
Pickleball is like tennis and table tennis, like ping pong, had a baby.
And then, what is the other one?
Rugby.
Rugby?
Rugby is the sport that American football came from. So you have a ball that's oblong, not as sharp on the ends as a football, and a little bit larger than a football. And you're attempting to score a try, which is the equivalent of a touchdown in the other team's end zone.
Can't you like absolutely just drop a shoulder?
Yes, it's full tackle, but there's no padding or helmets. No padding or helmets.
So you're in that currently?
Yeah, I'm co-captain of the Midland rugby team.
Oh, the Midland Rugby.
Mhm.
So what is co-captain?
I help organize practices and keep the team going, and
So you're not in the, you don't play?
I do play.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
What's your position?
I'm number 2. I'm what's called the hook, which in rugby, instead of having your traditional sort of line out where someone's like 342 hike, right? You just take the ball and go.
Oh, you just take the ball and go.
Right. But when you start the game, and occasionally when there's the right kind of foul, you do what's called a scrum, okay? Where 3 to 4 guys, depending on the size of the team and whether you're playing 7s or 15s, you'll kind of lock shoulders with each other. So you get a circle of 3 guys from each team around the ball in the middle. And the guy in the middle on each side is the hook. His job is he's balanced between the 2 guys on each side of him, is to use his feet to try and scoop the ball out of the middle and shove it back to the rest of his team before the other guy's hook does. So I'm trying to hook my foot around that ball and scoop it out of the circle before the other guy does. And then also the hook is the guy that gets lifted in the air to catch a throw out from like if your ball goes out of bounds, instead of someone like kicking it in if it's soccer, you throw it in, but you have to throw it above the other people's heads. And so the hook gets picked up by other people of the team, lifted up, and he has to try and catch it before the other guy's hook does.
So that way they go.
Yeah. Well, so the hook is usually the smallest guy on the team.
Technically the goalie.
I'm not really the goalie. What would be a good way of putting that? There's not really an equivalent, honestly. I'm the guy that tries to get the ball before the other team in throwouts and in scrums. Yeah, so normally your hook is your smallest, fastest guy. And I'm one of the smaller guys on the team, which should tell you something about the rest of the team. We've got a lot of Polynesians and bigger dudes on the team, so.
They pretty much have the hard.
Yeah, they do a lot of the harder tackling. I still do takedowns, and I've gotten taken down hard before. Yeah, a couple of years back, I got taken down so hard I got a bruised sternum.
What is that?
So this is your sternum right here. So guy tackled me head first into the chest, which is illegal. You're supposed to go shoulder first, never head first, because that can lead to some pretty bad injuries to both people. But he took me head first in the chest, and I had a bruised sternum. It hurt to breathe for 6 months.
So you could have technically lost your
Yeah, that can kill people if they have like a heart condition. Taking a hit that hard, if you have a heart condition, can be deadly. Yeah. People get hurt playing rugby all the time. I've gotten hurt. Like everyone on the team has gotten hurt. It's just a matter of how much you like the sport.
And so you never played football before?
Not on a professional team, no. I've played, like for fun.
So you play rugby on a professional team?
Yeah, I'm on the team, the Midland Odessa team.
Y'all ever like won a tournament or something?
We go to tournaments in Corpus Christi and Dallas and Abilene every now and then. We haven't won a tournament while I've been on the team for the last couple of years, but
So there's like no padding, helmets, nothing?
nothing. No padding or helmets. Yeah,
Does it hurt?
it hurts. Yeah, it hurts to get taken down by a 350-pound Polynesian.
That's a Maui size guy right there.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think he knows who Maui is.
Maui?
Yeah.
I have 3 children, and you don't think I know who Maui is?
Not that Maui. The kid from school, we call him Maui.
Oh, okay.
He's like,
Tell him to join the rugby team.
no, he would flatten somebody.
Good.
Like,
All right, any other questions related to the exam? I'm going to close this recording, if not. All right, I'm going to end the recording here. Good luck on the exam.